Professor Benjamin Nadozianyanwu. As you can see, I'm more feeble. But it's important to know a little bit story about me. I went to medical school here in Nigeria in the late 80s, very early 90s. And just like it is now, few people remember, some of you who are old enough, this was when Abacha was president. The country was on economic and emotional lockdown for young people. I did have opportunities around, but I chose at that time to leave this country in search of greener pastures. And that is why we encourage all young people, if you want to leave, leave. We're all saying leave the proper way, but nobody is going to hold you. Because I did that. When I left, the first point of contact was in the Caribbean, where I taught in a medical school for a long time. And then after that, I went to the United States where I did my training. So I trained, first of all, in neurology at Seton Hall University. And after that, I did fellowships, specialist fellowships in Thomas Jefferson University in Pennsylvania in stroke and critical care. The beautiful thing about it is that as I was leaving, I knew all along I wanted to come back to Igbo land. Therefore, I positioned myself, my training, all the things I was doing to be able to prepare myself for that. It took me a long time to achieve that, but I never lost sight of the ball. So every job I took, every leadership position I took it because I had my eyes on the ball. So after all those training, some of the first positions I took, I was a regular consultant in a nice hospital that was very willing to invest in what we're doing in, it's called Novant Health in North Carolina. And then subsequently, within a space of 2 years, I worked very hard and they made me associate director of stroke in that hospital. And within 3 years, I became the medical director of stroke. I was in that position for quite some time and then became the medical director of neurocritical care, ICU. And just like that, within a 10-year period, I was the chairman of the neurosciences. And I'm telling you, this is not a small hospital. Our hospital here is just 35, 40 beds. We're talking about a 1,000 bed hospital, you know, with almost about, of course, our hospital employed more than 25,000 people. But under my leadership, I had almost about 2,000 something people who were under me, nurses, doctors, and all sorts of people who were under me. But then, Ima, it's better to know when the ovation is loudest and for you to live when the ovation is loudest. There were some events that happened in my life that told me that you need to go. And that is why if you're hearing my co-directors are telling you quality, outcome. I also had my good share experience of people not doing what they're supposed to do. I lost my father. Yes, he was 93, but he died in a very funny circumstance that I didn't like. And then they were saying it was Papa. Then before I knew it, I lost my 42-year-old dear sister who was sick in Owerri here. I was taken to Lagos University Teaching Hospital. They left her in the emergency room there for 2 weeks, suffering in the emergency room. The doctors would not talk to me. They would not talk to me, and I'm sure we still experience that. They were writing her medications. We didn't even know the name. Before I knew it, on our there for about 2 weeks as an almost 42-year-old woman. So you will hear that one of the core things we do here is it's a compulsory for our doctors that now future your patient may not hear me not for so what you not go you not Australia. This is what they have done, 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 so that you are fully well informed. You cannot come here and ask, I need this information about my patient, and you're not told. You will be told everything because we work on a transparent way. So knowing very well that we are human beings, we don't know everything. But we will tell you, we will do everything to help your loved one if they're here. So communication is one of our key things, key elements Safety is also one of our key elements, or one of the things we do here, and that's exactly what you're hearing. And eventually, stewardship, to ask ourselves that mortality and morbidity conference. And I'm not very sick, but once a month I not doing a clean committee say, hey, Mr. Okonkwo, give me what do you think? And then so we can learn from those things. So I'm a professor of clinical medicine and neurology. And in a nutshell, I eventually in we started 2018, but it was really 2020 that I came back, because it wasn't easy. The reason why our people don't come back is you get hooked. That's why a lot of people want to come back, but they get hooked.
The sweetness.
It's too sweet. I tried to disengage. It was hard, both from family point of view and also from just my own personal point of view. And you know what I'm saying? But what are you talking about? And because of my discipline, trust me, the money was not an issue.
Yes.
But I owe it to one famous professor, Professor Ferdinand of Fodile. Professor Ferdinand of Fodile, one older colleague who trained in America, came back to Nigeria, was in Ibadan, and he couldn't sustain it and he left. Awesome. Now when you go back, if you really want to go back, cut the umbilical cord from Owerri Imo, because if you umbilical cord, you will eventually attack back. So I was conscious of it, and luckily, I'm sorry to say luckily, I was one of the, the blessing of COVID. I had come back, and I was supposed to stay 2 weeks. And then my mother got sick, and second of 3 weeks. That 10 week, COVID was strike here. We're not 8 months. By the time it was 8 months, the manango, like and I decided to stay. So in a nutshell, that is who I am. I'm one Fibo. I'm from the famous town called Avotobo. If you don't know where Avotobo is, you must know the first civilian governor of Imo State. I'm one name back. Samuel London come back. So you can understand why quality is our thing. It is on our blood. We're from the same village, Umada Avotobo. It's very far from here, close to our neighbors, of course, as you know, to Umaya, Abia State. That's where I am from. In fact, I will tell you one story. That the Manang during COVID, before I left America, they pay me if I work in 24-hour shift. And you can ask anybody there. You can Google it. There are many people who knew me when I was in America and who know my discipline. I'm an intensivist in neurology. I was paid a 24-hour shift, probably about $5,600. We work 24 hours. You know, we work 24 hours. That's what my pay is, $5,600. 24-hour shift. Now I'm to less than $350 an hour at the area. And I'm not even joking. Yes. Now, during that COVID, I showed it to them. There was all sorts of come back. One of the hospital called me. They said, that amount of money. Unless they pay me $12,000 a shift, that's 24 hours. Join the doctors who are at my level, that they will tell you, attest to what I'm saying. And I said, okay, let them get back to me within an hour. They say, okay, fine, come. It's not making. Because I remember Professor Ferdinand Fodile, what he told me, and I didn't go. What am I saying in effect, though? Money, I keep telling people, is not our drive. If money is our drive, how can we invest how much we have invested? That MRI that we have there is almost close to 3 billion naira. That MRI is a 1.5 Tesla MRI. Get you anybody. How much is a 1.5 Tesla MRI now? And our own is 24 channel. It's not like the Indians they use the 8 channels. It's one of the best in this country. It's not the best. That one not there. We just invested in buying a CT scan, a 160 slide CT scan. We paid about 800 and something, 850,000 US dollars. Wakoya they go today. Nabron and rebuilding, Nabron and setting it up and all of that. So it would never be about money. It is about quality. I'll give you an example. If all those ladies you saw there and you spoke to, none of them assigns a salary as a director. And I wrote that directorship job for free. Those people you saw there. There's a third one now who is not there. They do it for free. What they pay them for? Then when clinical patient half full, I want to pay go for that patient half full. That's what they get. I don't assess a salary. They place, of course, they take care of my accommodation and well, they don't because it's my house. They take care of my transport and some of them my security. It just a bit of the other day. You understand what I'm saying? So I took almost all my savings and more importantly, my retirement fund. Retire in order to be able to come back here. And of course, because of the contributions of my fellow directors in both financially, morally, in order to make it work. So it's not about money, and will never be about money because we invest and reinvest and invest and invest. That's why here we invest this amount of money in education. We do this, we buy this. If we go for staff boss, I have for staff boss, and when you see our staff boss, one and look more one not the you understand what I'm saying? It's a beautiful Mercedes. What do you call it? Mercedes Sprinter bus, almost brand new one we bought. And the politicians there, it's outside. Maybe you'll see them, you show them, they'll take pictures. The ambulance I did book patients. It's fully well equipped. You can only do that when you know that it will take one go with you'll be about into the business. That's what it's about. And yes, it's not about money. And I'm saying it to you with facts. What it's about is, remember I gave you two stories, my father and my sister. How can we change the narrative? And you heard my fellow directors. How can we change the narrative? One of them was, now the problem here when 25 hours I was enough. Now I wish the were more than 25 hours in a day because prior to this, she worked last night in where she is in Ireland. Prior to the Omega meeting already this morning. Or with this one that is impromptu for her. I think by 3 o'clock she has another meeting here as well. So he's working, he's having enough time. That is our problem. So quality. How can we help to change the paradigm? Why should it happen to the other man? The question you have not asked me, and hopefully I think you're going to ask me that question. Okay. ABC Obodo ABC America, no Bichana and America. We're not known at this village, Mburichi, Imo State, not Ranana, Abuja, not like Lagos. That's what you should be asking, you know. And I know you would get to that. Why? Because there was no attempt to build this hospital in Lagos. There was. First of all, I built a big home for my family, so I not that we have somewhere to stay. We bought land in Lagos, acres of land to start the place. Not an Igbo. I had some things I came to do. Dry all these what do you call it? Air mishaps, plane crash and when 2 cars, Honda Pilot in the brand new na Lagos. The Honda Pilot here, brand new, yana going cheap. You know Honda Pilot. So you see in Lagos every another. Kagari konna ko ke here, Bruna. Just like that. I don't want story. Knows I my driver there, Chile. One of these bongo music. Oko naina makariala loronulo. Oko naima makariala loronulo. I said, so I went to the station, hotel everywhere. I went back that day. Negia, I am telling you the gospel truth. Because I could see, forget now, Owerri is not developed. From here to Owerri town that time, how many houses were there? You have always been the hospital administrator, you know. So I went back, I called my family. So we're here in Lagos. I said, why? Can't this one and the one. I said, I'm not going to I mean, Lagos has places and we still provide care in big hospital in Lagos, that's one of the things they didn't mention to you. Some of the big hospitals, my Urakia, my FCC, or my many of them, with the state colors, my Irakia, it was serious. They don't know what to do. We use telemedicine. We get on TV like this, just like that. We see the patient, we recommend, we make recommendations. Some of the most tricky things, and especially in neuro, no boro, and we still do it, both from there and from here. We have a telemedicine group. So I decided to come back because I felt there are more than 60 million people in the southeast and south. But those people, they need healthcare. You understand what I'm saying? They need innovation. The beautiful thing about it is that the hospital ends up not just being for the southeast and south, but we also have patients who come as far as Gombe, Kaduna, Bauchi, Lagos Stadium, Ekiti, all sorts of those things to here, to Anibo, to access healthcare inside this place.